Hi, my name is Rania Dan, and I'm the director of the Institute for Transpersonal Studies. And I'm here today with Jan Venturini, who's one of the teachers teaching hypnosis trainings with us. Hi, Jan.
Good morning, Rania. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Jan, could you talk to us a little bit about women's empowerment? What's important to you about women's empowerment?
What's so important, I feel, Rania, is that we are now in the Aquarian age. And this is the age of the goddess. This is the time when women step into their power. Women are now coming out of 26,000 years of a lot of suffering, because we were living in the Piscean age of power, and it was very patriarchal. Now it's time for the women who were given the greatest gift when they were born to have the power to show others how to live in community. And this can only happen when the women leave behind the idea that they're victims of life, that they're victims of their families, or that they're victims of anything that has gone before, and realize that it's their uniqueness. They are a container of truth. And for each woman to step out and be totally who she is requires everything to come to a place of the heart. And that can only happen when we still the critical aspect of the mind, and when we bring everything to focus from our heart, we move with passion. And when we're with passion, everybody hears us. They all acknowledge us. And this is what my focus is. I went into retirement after spending 30 years helping people through hypnosis with you, through readings, through coaching, through every modality that I have learned was to help people move out of whatever woundedness that they had so that they could really come alive. Because a person alive affects the whole world. One change within us affects everyone around us. And if you want to change your family, change yourself. If you want to be empowered, you have to let go of the idea that there's something wrong. To live wholly within your being is to recognize that every single event in your life made you who you are. And who you are is what the world needs. And so I'm coming out of retirement now because it is a time when women have to reach out there and lift the men. And we can only do that if we allow ourselves to step into our knowingness. And how do we do that? We have to start listening to our heart and our solar plexus. The inner knower has to be what leads us. And that means we have to go sometimes without words, without thoughts, and without a plan. Does that answer your question, Rania?
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. And I'm wondering, what is it that really stops women from really taking their full empowerment and really being able to have the courage and strength and the total alignment to be who we are?
Well, there's many things. Religion being one of them, because many times we're taught to turn the other cheek. And the belief for women, many of them, is that they have to be the nurturer, the sacrificer of the family. And the reality is that that's an old idea. That's an idea that should have gone out with riding horses. But in order to step into one's power, we have to be willing to have power with others, and we have to learn to agree to disagree, and we have to be willing to be unique. We have to be willing to be who we are, and we have to follow what gives us life within. And in order to do that, we have to let go of the idea that we have to fix everyone. This is one of the things that keeps women from being empowered, is the belief that they have to be the one to fix mom and dad. They have to be the one to fix their husband. They have to be the one to fix their children, rather than allowing them to live their own life. In order to do that, one has to focus on our life. Many years ago, I watched a movie called Out of Africa, and Robert Redford said in this movie, he never married because he didn't want to wake up an old man at the end of somebody else's dream. And that has really affected me, because we do have to live our life. And what we accomplish here, we can't just do for ourselves, but we have to do for this world that we live in. And right now, the beauty of being on this planet right now is that we're at a time where nothing can be reformed. Everything has to be transformed. And in order to do that, women have this big connection between the right and left side of their brain. They are able to feel and think at the same time, where men are not given that. They hide in caves to figure things out, or they war. Women know how to collaborate. And that's why they have to step into power everywhere. They have to start leading corporations. They have to step into the government positions. They have to go out there in the world and be willing to be able to shift things for their families, for their children, for the world, for the community. It's been proven that people that live in communities have less health problems. And when we have health problems, we're not paying attention. When we have emotional problems, we're repeating our life. When we don't follow what's in our heart, then we're doing what other people told us to do. And that's an old way that no longer fits. I'm coming out of retirement in order to help people really come to a place of congruency inside so they don't have to endure so much in their life that is very, very trying. Chaos doesn't have to be there if you're willing to let go, which you've always done. You've always been this magical child that knows how to let go. But not everybody is willing to do that, and that's why your teaching is so critical. And that's why my coaching is so critical. It's to help people get a bigger view of their potential so they can step into it and feel safe doing that. That's what we're here to do.
How have you used hypnosis to be able to help people step from victim to creator?
What's so much more powerful than reading a person and giving them their past lives and their truth, which I do, hypnosis allows them to go into a past life and see what it was that they came here for. They can go into that wounded part of themselves and get a resource being a guide that will help that part of them see what was really behind that lesson and shift it and release it so that they can then come forward into this moment in time feeling more whole and knowing themselves so much better.
Beautiful. So through hypnosis, through past lives, then people can really embrace their full empowerment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the key here is whatever has to be removed so that the wholeness can shine. We are whole beings. And when we can take away any wounded part of the self, then we can come into congruency and we can be whole. When we're whole, what we love surges. And I watched somebody recently that was just overwhelmed with physical ailments, but all of a sudden the clarity of a movement came into their life, of a shift that they wanted. All of a sudden they had all this energy. And all of you out there know, when you are in empowerment, you expand. Every part of you goes, yes. But when you're not there, you contract, and you can even see it in the body language. When it's like, okay, I'm going to do my taxes today. Or I'm going to go be with a friend that I dearly love. All right, I'm going to take a trip to a place that I love. All right, when you're doing what you love, you feel expansion.
Yes.
And if you don't let the mind attach to why I can't be there, you're going to move with that. But in this time, Rania, it's going to require for people to move without knowing the steps. They will be shown as they walk. And that's the trust. So trust is the key to empowerment.
Thank you. So how do people acquire trust when, we have childhood traumas and programs from the past and total abandonment issues? How do we embrace trust and allow it to be who we are?
We have teachers like Rania Dan who help a person get to that place where you work with them spiritually, you work with them emotionally, you work with them physically, and you move energy. You are a powerful energy mover. And that's a new term you need to work with out there, everybody. To move energy requires that you provide tools to bring a person up and out. All right? When we all have karmic themes we were born with. And people like myself, people like you, we work with those karmic themes. We give clarity to that theme. And by giving clarity to the theme, we can actually go in, pull it out, replace it, and empower that person. It's always easier when you're on the outside looking in than it is from the inside looking out. However, any of us can have an event in our life that can do that. I lost a son to death of cancer. And in the process, I didn't lose him really. I gained him here. I gained him spiritually, helping me. And I lost him as a son here. But what happened was he took any fear that I had left with him. So the process was empowering.
Mm-hmm.
You can have any event in your life happen, and going through sorrow does nothing more than open you to more love.
Beautiful.
Raina, you and I have done work together because we love helping people become whole.
Mm-hmm.
They already were whole, they just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But then, as we work with them, all right, in places of power, we can even affect more change.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes in group consciousness, things will shift faster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the teaching's about.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
So to empower a person is to remove an illusion
That's beautiful.
and embody them with their truth.
Mm-hmm.
All right? An illusion is dispelled through every modality we've learned, hypnosis being one of the most powerful ones. All right? Because hypnosis is a self-empowerment. All right? There's many ways we can do it from the outside in, but hypnosis takes them from the inside out.
Right, because we're reprogramming our subconscious and we're dissolving those illusions of separateness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so we can step into our full empowerment rather than the victim just kind of like gets
Exactly.
absorbed into
Right.
a fullness of our beings.
Absolutely. And sometimes even going and seeing the perpetrator,
Uh-huh.
you know, as well as the victim.
Mhm.
You know, for me, the perpetrator was where my answers fell.
Oh.
And I went, wow, if I could do that, then there's nothing for me to criticize in life.
Uh-huh.
Because if we look at the lifetimes that we've been a victim,
Mhm.
as you know, the lifetime we've been a perpetrator, put those together, now we know we could be all things in any right situation. Therefore, there's nothing to measure or judge out here. There's everything to bring back to wholeness. And as a teacher, the greatest gift is to be sitting with others and walking with their truth as well as your own, because it makes the world a very unique place that allows for as many different philosophies as there are fingerprints. And that's the beauty of life, is to accept uniqueness. We don't need to be followers, we don't need to dress alike, we don't need to think alike or feel alike. What we have to do is love the difference. That's the way. We're all multicolored beings in a beautiful world that can walk together and not war with each other, but to walk in peace and love and allowing. That's the key to empowerment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I do feel that sense when I pull a group together to be supporting of one another and really allowing the transformation to happen, because when two or more are gathered together,
Spirit moves.
Yes, transformation happens. So
Absolutely.
there's a beauty of having a group that stays together over time to allow that unraveling, and so people can really start to acknowledge who they really are, rather than the illusion of their old beliefs patterns. So that's why I think the trainings are so important, because people
Yes.
come together for a while and really help each other to heal.
Absolutely.
So it's not necessarily me or you, but it's the tribe, the group that holds the space for higher consciousness.
And it also creates the energy so that the critic slows down.
Ah,
It's when a person's alone many times that, or in the darkness of the night, is a very powerful time where people go, what makes me think I can do this or that? And the critic really comes in very powerfully. But when you're with a group of supportive people that are all going through it, all being vulnerable, that's why they're empowered. Because one of the biggest keys to empowerment is the ability to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
yeah.
And that's what happens in trainings, that's what happens in classes, that's what happens when we're with a guru like Amma, right? There's that allowing of being vulnerable so that love can be the whole purpose of being.
That's true.
And so now that we are at a time that we know that it's been proven, community heals people. So community of people taking trainings, communities of people who work together, play together, and help one another without criticism, it allows for people to grow naturally.
Beautiful.
And that's empowerment.
Yes.
And so we're here talking to all of you about what's getting in the way of your empowerment. All right, and that's critical for you to look at. Look at the pattern of your life. Everyone has a specific pattern that keeps showing up. And that's what you have to work on. And once you know that there's a pattern, you can have hypnosis training, you can do coaching, you can do whatever's in your heart to do. But please, women, you've got to step into your power. It is the last chakra you have to work through to leave a planet Earth, is power in the manifest world. And it doesn't mean power over, it means power with.
Mm.
And that's what people have to get, because that's what many times keeps a person from their own empowerment, is a fear that they're going to have to take over and take charge of others, rather than be whole within themselves.
Beautiful.
This is very important.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, for this time here, Jan. I'm really feeling inspired and uplifted and appreciating you as a grand teacher. And thank you for coming out of retirement and sharing with us women.
I love coming out of retirement, and I love helping others. I feel so expanded when I do it. So in order to get a hold of either one of us, we both have websites. And mine is janventurini.com. And yours?
RainiaDan.com, or the Institute for Transpersonal Studies. And I'm going to be starting a training in June 2016, and also going to be over in Kauai teaching with Jan,
Yes.
a Hawaii training in 2016. So I'd like to invite you to experience the magic and the wonder of stepping into the mystery of who you are and appreciating this moment fully and completely for who you are and as you are, as a beautiful, radiant, magnificent being that is empowered when we step into it and allow it to be.
You are a gift to life, and we need you to be who you are at your full potential, fully empowered to change the world. And we know you can do it. So please join us. We're waiting.